breaking the wall of childhood vaccination through radio programs in Ethiopia. Yisalemush Asefa, 10 plus 10 plus 30 radio project to promote childhood vaccination, Ethiopia.
Sorry, I'm really excited, but I have to say something about our project. Full coverage and the timeliness of childhood vaccination is a critical challenge in sub-Saharan Africa. In Oromia region of Ethiopia, penta-3 coverage was 64% among infants in 2017. Penta is a type of vaccine that is given to children on 6, 10, and 14 weeks, and it has 5 vaccine ingredients in one injection, and it prevents against 5 types of disease, namely diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, hepatitis, common forms of pneumonia, and meningitis. Factors such as home delivery and living in rural areas are key drivers for children not being vaccinated on time. And in Ethiopia, if you want to access women, it is highly advisable to access them through health extension workers. Also, community radio is one of the popular communication channels, but health extension workers have not been empowered to use it to reach women. And again, using the tool to promote childhood vaccination have not been tested previously. So what we did was that the 10 plus 10 plus 30 radio program, it is about 10 minutes of serial radio drama and 10 minutes of radio studio discussion by 2 trained health extension workers with facilitators, and 13 minutes of phone-in from the listeners. So prior to the development of radio drama, what we did was we engaged mothers, health extension workers, and radio actors to get some information on the barriers and the facilitators to use radio to promote infants vaccination. And also, we just conducted a radio drama design workshop just to get some information from the different stakeholders. And also our 3T intervention was named as Egere Ijolle. It is just to say a child's future. And the drama focused on infants vaccination, and it contains 12 episodes. And also we did training of health extension workers on how to serve as a radio panelist. So our 3T intervention was just implemented in Jimma community radio. Jimma community radio reaches around 1.2 million people. Each drama episode was aired 2 times per week on Friday and Sunday at 2 p.m., but the phone-in from the listeners and the radio studio discussion was different. So more than 160 phone-in from the listeners were occurred. And again, we used a quasi-experimental design. We selected 2 districts. The intervention district gets transmission from Jimma community radio, while the control district doesn't get transmission from Jimma community radio. And we selected infants up to 5 weeks and their mothers, and followed until the infants become 4 months old. And baseline data collection was conducted immediately before starting the intervention, while the end-line data collection was conducted immediately after ending our intervention. So we reviewed infants' vaccination card, and when not available, we just interviewed mothers. And we also conducted focus group discussion with health extension workers who served as a panelist. So what we observed was really there was an improvement in the outcome, both in the coverage and the timeliness. Penta-3 coverage was 85% among in intervention district, while it was 62% in the control. And again, on-time vaccination was 71% in the in the intervention, while it is 27% in the control group. Surprisingly, what we learned was that the intervention reaches more people. It is just supported by saying of one of the health extension workers. It is a good opportunity to reach to the larger community at the same time with the language they understand. Again, 3T built the capacity of health extension workers to promote childhood vaccination by using a radio program. It is also supported by the saying of one of the health extension workers. I evaluated my current status and I developed self-confidence after I took this training. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think my son is going to enjoy this. He's just 6 months old. Yeah, he needs his vaccinations. Anyways, as someone has a lot of experience in radio, do you think my voice, could I be a presenter? It's like, I can do this. Good morning, I'm everyone. No? No chance? Thank you. You didn't have to do this live.
Yeah.
You could have told me like in person, but thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's time now to get some questions from our audience. Yes, we have a question here.
Thank you. So thank you for your presentation. I would like to know more about the questions, some of the questions, for example, that you received from mothers, because here the resume says that you work with mothers with infants. So, for example, what are some of these questions?
Would you repeat, sorry?
Yes, for sure. What are some of the questions, for example, that you receive from mothers with infants about vaccination, you know, and what are their doubts about?
While we conducted the baseline data collection?
Yeah, during the radio program.
Okay,
yeah.
We just interviewed mothers, we engaged mothers by conducting focus group discussion. During that, we tried to get information on the barriers and the facilitators to use a radio program if it works to promote childhood vaccination. Again, while we are conducting on the baseline data collection, we reviewed infants' vaccination card. If not available, we just interviewed mothers. We just asked them if the baby takes any vaccination. When she says yes, we will just go in detail. We will check also for the BCG scars and any other thing.
Great. Yeah, we have another question here from one of our juries. Yeah. Brilliant.
Thank you. Amazing figures. You're mentioning all the time mothers. Do you have any gender segregated data on the listeners that come into your program and about the rest of the family? Do you follow that as well?
Actually, more than 160 phoning from the listeners were occurred. Can I get your question?
Where are the fathers and others? So the fathers, you're just talking about mothers.
Yeah.
So do you have any gender segregated data on the people that are involved around child vaccination?
Actually, our targets were mothers. The primary target were mothers. We just focus on the mothers. If not available, we also asked for the fathers. But any person any colleagues who are just giving a care to the child, we focused on that. We just interviewed that. But during the focus group discussion, we strategically interviewed the mothers. We engaged the mothers by conducting focus group discussion specifically. But on the baseline data collection, the respondents may be males, actually, but we didn't get that information specifically. Frankly speaking, we didn't disagree with that. In most of the cases, the respondents were female, I think. We only focused on the sex of the infant. Okay. Yeah. The data focused on the sex of the infants.
What are the data in that regard? So who got vaccinated more?
Actually, we don't disaggregate that data. Just to compare the male and the female, based on the infant's sex, we didn't disaggregate that.
Oh, thank you very much. So, yeah, we have one last question here from one of our audience. Yep.
So I love your idea and concept, which is a problem. Vaccination for young infants is a problem because of the education behind that. And this is amazing, but the question is when you plan to scale, for example, where I live in Nigeria, there are very, very few people that have access to radios, and you're limited within a specific region when you're using like radio to broadcast. Do you have plans to explore other media options in order to get the information out there? Because I think it's not about the medium you're using, it's about the information you're taking out there. So what plans do you have for that in your expansion plan? Or do you plan to expand?
Actually, we are looking for different grants, and we are just trying to apply for that. We also plan to scale up. There are a diverse community in our context, so we plan to add additional another 12 episodes, and again, we plan to just translate the previous 12 episodes in different languages, so we have a plan to scale up.
Great. Yeah, that's a powerful message that needs to be expanded all over the world.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and massive round of applause, guys.